In a peaceful little village, nestled between endless green rice fields and rows of trees that whispered in the breeze, lived two boys who were the best of friends. One was 6 years old, small in size, but quick and lively. The other was 10, taller, stronger, and always the leader in every game. They weren't just close friends, they were inseparable. They played together, ate together, laughed together, and never spent more than an afternoon apart. One sunny day, like any other, the two boys ran off to play beyond the village. A soft wind blew through the fields as their laughter echoed across the dirt paths. "You'll never catch me," the older boy shouted with glee, sprinting ahead. "Oh yes, I will," the younger one cried out with excitement, chasing after him. As they were running and fooling around, the older boy didn't notice a deep well hidden behind a thick cluster of bushes. One wrong step, a scream, and in the blink of an eye, he fell straight into the dark, cold well. "Help! I can't swim," his desperate cry echoed from deep below. The 6-year-old froze. For a moment, he was paralyzed. His wide eyes stared into the well where his best friend was splashing and gasping in terror. No adults were nearby. The village was too far away, and even if he screamed, no one would hear them in time. He looked around. His heart pounded like a drum in his chest. Then, suddenly, his eyes landed on an old bucket lying nearby, attached to a long rope. Without hesitation, he grabbed the bucket, tied the rope tightly, and threw it down into the well. "Grab on. Don't let go," he shouted. The older boy grabbed the bucket, but that was only the beginning. The 6-year-old began to pull, bit by bit. The rope stretched taut, his small hands shook, and his feet slipped on the dusty ground. Dirt clung to his arms, and sweat poured down his face. But he didn't stop. "I won't let go. I won't leave my friend behind," he whispered to himself, again and again. That final pull seemed to draw every last ounce of strength from his tiny body. He collapsed onto the ground at the same moment he hauled his best friend out of the well. The two boys lay there, gasping for breath, staring at each other in disbelief over what had just happened. In that moment, tears streamed down their cheeks, tears of fear, relief, and overwhelming emotion. "You saved me," the older boy said through trembling breath. "Of course I did. Who else would play with me if you were gone?" the younger one joked, tears still clinging to his lashes. But as the relief faded, a new fear crept in. Their parents would be furious. Falling into a well, wandering off without permission, getting filthy, there was no doubt they were in big trouble. Still, the boys knew they had to do the right thing. They had to tell the truth. They raced back to the village, hearts still pounding from the ordeal. Breathless but honest, they explained everything in detail, hoping for understanding or at least kindness. But instead of admiration, the villagers burst out laughing. A 6-year-old pulled a 10-year-old out of a well? Come on, don't make up stories. That little one can barely lift a full bucket of water. How could he pull up a person? Their pride shattered. The joy disappeared. The two boys looked at each other, their faces heavy with sadness. No one believed them. No one realized they had just survived a life-or-death moment together. At that moment, an old man slowly stepped forward. It was Uncle Frederick, the oldest man in the village, known not only for his age but for his wisdom. He didn't laugh. He didn't scoff. He simply listened quietly from beginning to end. Then, after a long pause, he smiled. "The question isn't how the boy managed to do it," he said, looking around at the villagers. "The real question is, why was he able to do it?" The crowd fell silent. Because at that moment, he continued, there was no one around to tell the boy that he couldn't. No one said he was too small or too weak. Not even himself. All he knew was that his friend was in danger, and he had to save him. It was belief, not doubt, that made him strong enough to do what no one thought possible. The atmosphere shifted. Silence gave way to reflection. One by one, the villagers began to understand. Limits only exist when we believe they are real. When no one tells you you can't, you will always find a way to do it.